There we go. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. As usual, I am on the move, as they say. This morning a little different than most. Got my run in first, so it has been a long morning already, which is nice. And then after this, of course, going to church, then golfing in a league, which will be fun. It'll be fun today. And my steering wheel's in the shot, which is no good, but that's okay. Anyway, okay. Real quick market update, then we'll get to question 2 of 4 for questions to ask realtors when you're in the interview process. Um, Real quick, April, we are on the move. This is so good. So good news on one side of it. Again, we are getting our buyers' offers accepted, which is so good. Second, in April, we are actually up in the first half of April with number of homes coming to the market in Metro Detroit by almost 50% over March. And if you remember, in March, we were up almost 50% over February, which is so good. And good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brentley. I'm not going to do this too much while I'm driving, but there we go. Love that. So here's what this means. Buyers, remember at the beginning of the year when we were talking about the market stats and how many offers it took to get a home, and we were a little bit over 6 offers on average to get a home. That's what I saw in my survey to other realtors, not just our own, but others in the market. In March, that number had come down to 4.2 offers on average to get a home. And I think by the end of this month, I think we're going to see that start coming down to 3, maybe 2.5. Is it still a hot market? Absolutely. Are we still going into multiple offers? Absolutely. Do we still have to fight to win? Absolutely. But we are not going to need to fight quite as hard as far as losing. Okay, I mean, we've got the horror stories and the war stories of seeing buyers lose 5, 6, 7, 8 homes at this point. I don't think we're going to continue to see that going into spring or continuing through this market. I think it's going to be more like, hey, this is the 3rd home that we bid on and we won, which is a good thing. So again, Metro Detroit, around 6,500 homes came to market in March. Around 4,500 homes came to market in February. I believe we're going to top 82 or 8,300 homes coming to market in April. And on with the show. So this video is question 2 of 4. Last week we talked about full-time versus part-time agents, right? And the importance of hiring a full-time agent. This week, we're going to talk about communication, okay? So second question to ask your realtor when you're interviewing a real estate agent. Are you a good communicator? Follow up, what could you work on to be a better communicator? Both great questions. And there's a very specific reason why I ask those questions, or why I hope people ask those questions. Here in Metro Detroit, it's easy because with my team, we have a very high communication level. But if you're sitting outside of Metro Detroit, again, these are great questions to ask people when you're interviewing agents, because again, we just don't know all the agents out there, and we can't make great recommendations always. So what does this mean? So first question is, are you a great communicator, right? What is your communication style? Are you a caller? Are you a texter? Are you an emailer? Are you a combo, right? With what frequency will I hear from you? That's a great point. What is your average response time? And these are all important things, because don't forget, guys, buying or selling real estate is in the top 5 most stressful things in a person's life, right? We definitely want to be the source as real estate agents of de-stressing, not adding to, right? And communication and knowing what's going on or not knowing what's going on is probably the number one way we can either crank up the stress or take away the stress. Okay. Now for us, and I can speak to myself and my team, we're very simple. Okay. We return all calls, texts, and emails same day, as long as they come in before 7 p.m. Right? Pretty typical. If we get a call or a text or an email sometime midday, 11 noon, 1, we're returning that by like 1, 2, 3, within an hour or two. And at the same time, and this goes to the second question, what could you improve as a communicator? The reason why this is important is because what I want to hear out of agents is, hey, sometimes I'm with my family and it might take me 2 or 3 hours to respond. If it's something important, I'll step away. And if it's a general question that can hold for 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to enjoy my kids. I'm going to enjoy my spouse. I'm going to enjoy my family activity, whatever that is. That's actually what I want to hear, because that's more along the lines of the truth. If I start hearing things like, well, even when I'm with my family and my kids and everything, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing and I'm going to pick up your call 100% of the time. And I hear agents go this way all the time, kind of the extreme, the other end. It's probably because they're cognizant that they don't return calls, phones, calls, texts, or emails on a timely basis. So they're trying to kind of overdo it with the answer. Okay. Um, further, with this communication style, I believe is supremely important, right? And you got to have this conversation with your agent because all agents communicate a little different, all clients communicate a little different, and just because there's not a match doesn't mean there can't be a match. You just have to set that expectation up front, right? So as an example, when it comes to important things, inspection negotiations, setting up the closing, any appraisal issues or whatever that looks like, I prefer a phone call if I were a client, just because I want to talk through it. And my little sister would prefer that just to go by text. She would rather have a quicker text during the day than a longer phone call in the afternoon because she's working and she can't take a call during work, right? And that's just a match in communication style. So if we have that conversation up front, and I know she'd prefer the text, hey, your appraisal came out 15,000 light. Here are the next three things we could do about it, right? She'd rather know that up front. For me, again, personally, I'd rather have the communication of, hey, I've got your appraisal in and we need to talk about it. Give me a call when you can. And then I want to talk through it if I were a client. But that's just me. Having that good communication chat is paramount to having a great real estate transaction. And have that up front. Have that up front. Third or fourth, I don't even know where we're at. But I did not sip my coffee, so I'm not sure where we're at. There we go. Communication again. During the escrow process, what is your communication standard? And this is important, okay? Because a lot of agents really fall off the bus, right? So the offer is accepted, and not to be offensive to real estate agents, but a lot of real estate agents feel that the primary job is actually done. And that is not the case at all. The job is not done until the sellers have given up their keys, the buyers have received their keys, all escrows are dispersed, which could be months into the future. It could be, and here's what I mean by this. So let's say you're buying a house in January and it has a pool and we can't inspect the pool. We don't know if the pool heater works or any of that stuff. We're in Michigan. Our pools are not open year round. And so we've got a pool escrow for $5,000 and we've got to reopen that pool by June 15th, right? So from January to June 15th, we've got to remain in communication with that client. Our job is not done. Our job is not done. And I've seen that happen on multiple occasions where the closing happens and the agent is nowhere to be found. And again, not trying to be offensive against my own kind here, just trying to be honest. So the question is, how do you communicate during the escrow process? That's majorly important. So on our team, what that looks like is we have 3 full-time closing coordinators, okay, with a combined almost 40 years of experience. They're amazing. They are amazing, actually. Now, their communication standard, the one that they hold, is they communicate with our clients no matter what, even if there's nothing to talk about, a minimum 3 times per week. Okay? So 3 times per week, each one of our clients receives an update on what's going on with their transaction, with their home purchase or home sale, even if we don't actually have anything to talk about. Right? Hey, just want to give you a quick call. Your file's still in underwriting. No update yet. We should have an update in 2 days. Easy. Easy. Even something as simple as that, a text or a voicemail or an email, can de-stress that buying process and allow you, the consumer, the client, to go about your day and go do other things that are important. Go to the kids' game and not worry about, holy heck, it's been 6 days since I've heard from my agent or my closing coordinator. I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to freak out when really there's usually nothing to freak out about, right? But again, that just goes back to clear, frequent communication. Second part of that is, most of the time when we're in the escrow process, we're waiting on somebody else to communicate with us before we can relay information to you. Okay? 9 times out of 10, we are waiting on somebody else. And it can feel like we're the source of the holdup on communication, because oftentimes agents will practice avoidance. Not just avoidance of bad news, but avoidance of no news, right? Because they feel like no news is bad news. So a good example of that is, we have a situation right now where we've got a loan officer that just went completely off the rails, right? And again, not trying to throw anybody under the bus, loan officers included. The majority of them are great people and they do a wonderful job, and they do all the things right. And I've got one that just has been literally MIA on the buyer, the seller, the other agent, everybody, title company for like 9 days now. I mean, it's literally been a week since last Thursday, and we have not gotten a hold of this dude. Now, does that give us the excuse of not reporting back to our client what's going on? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Quite the opposite. It gives us the opportunity to inform our client, hey, Mr. Client, I know I was shooting for getting you an update on Monday, and it's Monday, but I have called this loan officer 3 times. I've texted them 2 times, and I've emailed them 2 times, and I called the branch manager, and I have not received an update. I'm going to continue to call, text, and email this guy throughout the day. And at the bare minimum, even if I don't get a hold of him, I will be on the other end of your phone Tuesday at or before noon. Now, if I get a hold of him, like if he calls back in 30 minutes, I'm going to be calling you in 35 with a file update where we're at. But if he doesn't, the very latest I'm gonna call you back is tomorrow at noon to let you know my headway or where I've gotten. Right? Again, keep those clear lines of communication extremely open. Right? And a lot of agents, unfortunately, they just kind of start practicing avoidance because they start feeling like, okay, shoot, they take on that guilt, should I say, of that title company, the loan officer, the insurance company, whatever it is that's just not communicating. And then so they stop communicating. And all that really does is add stress to a real estate purchase or real estate sale. So guys, again, question number 2 of 4 to ask real estate agents: how do you communicate? What's your preferred style? What's your frequency? And what one thing could you work on with your communication? And I would be very, very weary of anybody that says my communication is perfect every time, because we're human. By definition, we are not perfect, right? And then again, make sure that there's a matchup, right? Again, just going back to my little sister, before 3 o'clock, before 4 o'clock, because she's working, she would prefer a text rather than a phone call. If it's after 3 or after 4, she prefer the phone call because then she has the time and she's not at work, right? So again, just go back to making sure that there are good communication standards set. And frankly, if you're not seeing what you're looking for, and you're out there and you're seeing homes and you're calling an agent and it takes them 2 days to call back, this sounds horrible. Dump them. Dump them. There is there is nothing that's going to hold you to that agent if they are doing a terrible job for you. Okay, and nor should you. You know, in this world, in this economy, fortunately, our votes are with our dollars. Right. Last point before I let you guys go this morning. When you are interviewing real estate agents, don't forget to Google that agent, Google that team. Right. Look at their reviews. Okay. If you Google the Perna team reviews, you will see that we have just over 2,500 five-star reviews. If you look at those reviews, you'll see words like great communicator, responsive, things like that. You want to see that. And now here's a little known hack for figuring out what the number 1, 2, or 3 words about that team or about that agent are out there. If you Google whatever real estate name, whatever real estate agent or real estate team, right? Now you see their Facebook business page. Number 1, you get to see all their reviews if they have any. Right? Number 2, if you go to leave a Google review, like if you click the box that says leave review, right? And then you click the stars, you don't even have to leave the review. The next thing it will prompt you to do is there are a couple buttons there where it may say, good service, quality, or quality value, or things like that, right? Google has already scraped and read all of the other reviews that agent has, okay? And they pulled out the key terms that the majority of consumers are talking about that agent or about that team. You want to see something like responsive. That's the number 1 Google term for somebody that's a good communicator. You want to see something like communication, right? Or speed. Those are kind of the top 3 in order. So when I am interviewing an agent, and when I'm interviewing an agent, which I do for clients all the time that are out of state, that's my little hack. I go to Google, go to their Google page, go to their Google My Business. Whoop. So my little thing fell off there. Sorry about that. Go to Google My Business. I'm going to leave a 5-star review. Click the 5 buttons, and I want to see what Google thinks. I want to see what Google thinks of the other 100 or 200, or in our case, 1,100 5-star reviews, and what is going to prompt me to say that's like other agents, or like other consumers, should I say. So there's your hack for the day, guys, on finding a great agent who's a great communicator. I apologize that my phone kind of fell off its rails there. But other than that, make it a great Sunday. Sun's out. Have fun.